Every time I died, they just printed me out again. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if you're thinking at this point, what have I done?
It's gonna be fun.
What do you mean?
Mickey 17. Rated R.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Read the Room Productions. I am your host, Andrew Merrill, and just a quick shout out to my favorite football team, Ohio State, national champions. Woo! I am so pumped that we won. And yes, I am so excited because, it's been so long since we won a national championship. 10 years it's been since we won the first in the top 4. Now we won in the top 12. But okay, enough about football. Let's get into the reading the room of the movies. Okay, awesome. All right, we're going to talk about the trailer you just saw, Mickey 17. And then we're going to talk about mentioning the Twilight Marathon that Movie Tavern is putting out there on February 8th. And then we're going to discuss the movie Drop trailer. And then we're going to discuss Ryan Gosling and talks of Star Wars. And then finally, we're going to end it off with David Lynch's sad passing. Rest in peace, dude. We love you. And all right, let's get started. Here we go. So the trailer you saw for Mickey 17. So the TV spot for it was just to show that the official trailer is now coming out today, and it just released. So if you have time, check it out. It looks really good. This movie follows Robert Pattinson, who is an exposition, who's Mickey Barnes. Basically, it's kind of like a story where he does all these dangerous missions, he dies, he ends up coming back, but in a different body, but his conscious mind is still the same. So it's like every time you die, you learn something new. It actually looks very good. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, and he also, did other Japanese or South Korean films, and it looks really good. He did this one movie called, it was a TV show too. It was, what was it? Oh, yeah, Snowpiercer. That's it. So Snowpiercer, if you haven't seen Snowpiercer, definitely check this out. It's one of his good films. Excuse me. Next topic, I'm going to talk about the Twilight franchise. So, of course, we're going to talk a bit about Robert Pattinson. So, the Twilight Marathon is beginning on February 8th at noon. So, you get to see all the 5 Twilight films. If you're a big Twilight fan, I recommend you get your tickets now for Movie Tavern's website, and then book your tickets, and then head to the theater on February 8th to watch all the Twilight movies. All right, next, the movie Drop. It's really good. It's about a single mother basically going on a date that she met on some dating site. I don't know what it is. But it's kind of interesting concept where it's about this killer who's basically, dropping messages to her while she's on a date. And apparently, he tells her what she has to do. And one of the parts in the trailer is like really crazy. And I'm like, this could be really good or really terrible. It's directed by Christopher Landon, who did the Happy Death Day franchise, Freaky. He also did We Have a Ghost in Our House. And my underrated movie that I loved he did is Scout's Guide, Road to the Zombie Apocalypse. That movie is really good. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. It's definitely a really funny movie. I like the intro to this movie, too. I mean, because it's just funny, it's silly, but it's like, oh, yeah, now I'm just getting into it as a kind of like, oh, the music, I'm ready. And, there's zombies everywhere, so watch out for that. Anyway, moving on. Ryan Gosling is in talks to lead another Star Wars movie, but it's directed by Sean Levy, who who directed Night at the Museum franchise. He directed Real Steel, and who could forget? Deadpool and Wolverine. One of my favorite movies, or my top 10 favorite movies of 2024. So, Ryan Gosling, you all know who he is. He was in The Notebook. He was also Ken in Barbie, but he was also in other good movies. You could think of The Gray Man, and he also did The Fall Guy from last year's of 2024 movies. Not in my top 10, but it's an underrated movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out on Peacock. It's worth it. And then finally, we're going to get down to ending this conversation with David Lynch's sad passing. One of the inspiring filmmakers, directors, and actors probably of all of movies. He was really good as a person. He was always an inspiration to a lot of people through his messages, through his ways of how we communicate as people, and the way that we are to making movies to this day. I always remembered in this one movie in 2022, and his final movie was in the Steven Spielberg biopic, The Fabelmans, about his life. And he plays John Ford, who is the director of the John Wayne movies, and Spielberg was played by Gabriel LaBelle, who you've known him from Saturday Night. He was also in The Snack Shack, which actually was a very good movie. It's definitely underrated. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. But anyway, this movie was about Spielberg as a kid, all grown up, and basically wants to get into the movies or the filmmaking business, and John Ford basically gets him involved. But there's that one scene that's been my favorite of this decade of movies, is when John Ford goes and tells him to go over to the painting and tells him where the horizon is. Greatest inspiration to filmmakers everywhere. So if you haven't seen The Fabelmans, I definitely want you to see this movie. But I will show you this clip of John Ford telling the young, Sammy Fabelman, or you could think of him as Spielberg, goes up to the painting and tells him where the horizon is. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this clip, and I hope you enjoyed this show. So I'm going to end it off there. So for anybody who has not subscribed or ring the bell to get notified, please do that. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook, X. Please do that. Tell others about my channel. I really want you to experience the ways that I describe the movies, and to always know that I will always be honest with you. I will always check it out, have my own opinion, but if you don't like it, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you don't always have to agree with everything I say. But I am very good as a movie critic, and I enjoy everything I do. So I hope to put more videos out there, and I will see you next time. All right, take care, guys. You have a wonderful day.